That's true.
So I'm just putting the other side of the picture, not as a defense, but to tell you why even Hazrat Masih Maud has not rejected Hazrat Abu Muawiyah, Hazrat Muawiyah as an outright kafir or a munafiq. He has not. After all, there must be some reason.
Yes,
this is why to give someone a benefit of doubt is also a principle of dispensation of justice. So things were not as clear at that time as they are to you now. Not everybody can think in the frame of mind which was given to Hazrat Muawiyah at that time. As I told you, he was appointed as governor of a far off place, province, and he was treated very kindly throughout the Khilafat of Hazrat Usman. So he entertained a very special bondage of love for him.
And he was a great administrator, no doubt.
No doubt. And so, when he hears all this, the rumors that the murderers were, number one, not checked in time. They were very important old companions of Hazrat Rasul Akram sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, who knew what was happening and were not moving in that direction, not doing anything. Now this is the most tricky part, not what happened later on.
Right.
This part is in fact what disturbs me the most. And when you read Islam mein ikhtilafat ka aghaaz, one is not genuinely satisfied as to the pre-murder situation. It still disturbs. There is something which is left out either by history or it has been distorted by the facts of by both parties. Something must have gone wrong somewhere, because the history which is carried down to us is not fully satisfying. At least to my conscience, it does not satisfy.
Yes, that is true. Because
the Nizam-e-Khilafat, as we understand now, and as we understand from the authority of the Holy Quran, how precious it is, and how under the very eyes of senior companions of Muhammad, this was heard, not like a shoot and run away murderer, but regularly, in so many days, a thing mischief was developing, and yet everybody seems to be paralyzed. Now this situation, I don't say, it is farthest from me to suggest that Hazrat Ali Karamallahu Wajhu was responsible, because had he been responsible, Allah Ta'ala would not have made him a Khalifa. It was impossible. His innocence is positive. But the entire society of Medina was responsible. You can't take responsibility away from the shoulders of everyone altogether. And this was a very difficult situation for Hazrat Muawiyah. It was not like Hazrat Masih Maud, the Imam of the time, who is guided by Allah, who had clarified that position for Hazrat Ali. For him, the whole situation was very soupy and suspicious, and he didn't know who was to share how much responsibility. So that is the reason why those who are God-fearing among the Muslims, they do not hasten to condemn him outright. They think that perhaps his decision was wrong, but his intention was not distorted. So we are not the judge. Allah is better judge. Why not leave it to Allah, and why to bother about sitting on the place of a judgment where you are not required to sit? So to be on the safe side, you behave at least like an agnostic. You say we don't know much and the history is distorted. This is what I have been trying to do all the time. Whenever this question was raised to me, I always remained non-committal, and I told Ahmadis, there is a difficult issue. Allah would never ask us this question on the day of resurrection. Why did you not decide between Muawiyah and Ali? Allah would definitely ask if we decide and decide wrongly. That who are you? Who are you to decide on such issues?
You may not be judging, but drawing inferences and making principles. For instance, we at this time are very much committed, and we know it, that once a Khalifa is elected rightly, then anyone, whatever the differences may be, anyone who revolts against that Khalifa It just doesn't stand for a reason that we would accept his rejection.
That is correct, but this is after everything has clarified and precipitated. There is a lot of difference between this situation and that situation. And then to call it a revolt would be only if one accepts it. If one accepts a Khalifa and then walks out of the fold, that is called revolt. But when the system is not very clear, when a large party from among the companions of Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is siding with the other side, and a division is not a marginal division, but situated more in the middle, then how can you rise above human levels and decide, see like a God and see things as if everything is very clear? So give that margin to Hazrat Muawiyah.
So that we come to this conclusion that the institution of Khilafat till that time, or the process of election and how the Khilafat should be established, was not clear till then. It
was not precipitated in so many words. And also I see, even if it had been precipitated, this much is very clear from the demand of Hazrat Muawiyah that I am ready to accept provided you do this. This is in my view a most fundamental part of the dispensation of justice. So that shows that in principle he agreed that if no other barrier is in the way, the election by a few in the center of Islam can be held good. Through implication, he accepted this principle because he never raised this question. Pardon? The point is that throughout that debate, he did not even once mention the question of his being absent or so many Muslims being away, hundreds of thousands of Muslims being away, and they are not sending their representation to Medina. This question was never even remotely debated at that time. That shows that the election by a few in the capital was not an issue of debate. The question was a different question altogether. That what happened previous to this, in that some people behaved mischievously, and they also participated in this, and they are going scot-free still, and they are not punished. So that was what was bothering. So he did not got initiated at the hands of Hazrat Ali. Now this is a situation which is similar to Hazrat Ali's situation remotely, when he himself did not get initiated at the hands of Hazrat Abu Bakr, and yet he is not censured for that. Hazrat Umar, he did not get initiated at the hands of Hazrat Umar for a while. And Hazrat Ali, Hazrat Abu Bakr as well. I'm sorry, Hazrat Abu Bakr, not Hazrat Umar. Hazrat Umar went to him, and the Shias tell us that they went with all the preparation to put fire to his house and so on. I don't believe that. But the time lapse is very obvious. And he himself was putting certain conditions. So I don't know. Allah knows his ways best. This is a very disturbing situation. That the same Khalifa who was late, about him conditions were put and others were late. So the justice of Allah is just grand and very refined and very deep. And He knows His ways best. So why to decide on issues which are very tricky and dangerous? Just leave them to the history and believe in what you have been told by Hazrat Masih Maud that the fault of Muawiyah, whatever it was not a fault demanding censure on our part or giving us right to call him bad name. Leave his case to Allah and think good of him. Maybe he was a mistake. He was not a conscious offender. But it so happened.
You have mentioned that the companion of the Holy Prophet was clearly paralyzed. They did not move in defense of the Hazrat Usman, Hazrat